Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Varus, and in this video I'm going to give you a full update on the tropics, severe weather, current alerts and indices, and more in this video. So let's get right into it. So right now I have pulled up the alerts map. Just wanted to talk about some alerts. As you can see, the west, especially north central, northwest areas are under many heat advisories and fire warnings and red flag warnings, especially Montana. Almost every single county of Montana, except this little speck up, a little county up in the north, remains unflagged. But I mean, you can see Montana, most of Idaho, even areas of Washington, Oregon, areas of Wyoming, South Dakota, the Dakotas overall, Utah, Nevada, and even California, as well as getting into Arizona and some other areas, even into areas of Nebraska. So overall, very active in terms of alerts up here in the desert southwest and up here in the northwest and Pacific Northwest. So just keep that in mind. While the east remains very quiet, however, you do see some severe thunderstorm warnings up. Given we did have a marginal and slight risk up, however, now that the day is ending, it has now been lowered to a general risk over here and just a little marginal risk right where you see these severe thunderstorm warnings. And the central U.S. remains quiet with a couple of dense fog advisories and a couple of flood watches and warnings over in south central areas such as southeast Texas, as well as areas of the southeast such as into the Carolinas. So those are your indices and issuances. Getting into the severe outlook, again, not really big of a story. You do have a marginal risk here. Did forget to mention here, but you did have a slight risk right here. But either way, very, very inactive, honestly. Mainly just a wind threat and no real hail threat. And okay, then you also have a marginal risk up here in the Pacific Northwest, in the Northwest overall. Now, day 2, marginal risk migrates slightly northeast into the mid-Atlantic areas over some pretty populated areas such as DC Metro, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and even into Richmond. So watch out if you're over in here, as main threats will probably be and yeah, really just wind. And that applies with the other severe risks, a marginal up for most of just Montana, mainly just wind, and then also for Arizona, mainly just wind. Now getting into the day 3 outlook, just a general risk of thunder, nothing much. So just expect some your typical summertime thunderstorms, and we'll see if anything gets issued, but for now, just a general risk. Now getting into the hurricane outlook, um, getting onto the Atlantic, no real cyclone activity is not expected during the next 7 days. However, this I think will change in the coming days / weeks. So keep an eye out there. However, Eastern Pacific much more active, honestly. Tropical Storm Bud right now. Here, let's take a look at that. Just a quick look. Tropical Storm Bud right here. Just formed, very weak and pretty unorganized, but it is a tropical storm. Just going to continue heading kind of west-northwest, then just almost due west, and then actually curving down southwest. Okay, so just going to be a storm for the next couple of days, and by Friday, by really late Thursday, it should weaken down into a depression, not really threatening any major land areas. But I don't know if you can see, there's a little speck right here. It is technically a little island, but overall, nothing really much in the way of impacts like for the land. And then, however, wind waves could be an impact, just letting you know, but very minor impacts either way. Now we got disturbance 1, 10% in the next 7 days, 0% in the next 48 hours. So some slow possible development is possible. However, this can almost be disregarded. Getting into the Central Pacific, that's the same system. I remember I was talking about a different disturbance down marked in this area that has dissipated. However, this we could still keep an eye on for any other development. So that's your NHC outlook. Now, there's something I want to talk about. Now, I'm going to show you right here a system, a tropical wave coming off. So first we're going to start with the GFS model. This is a global forecasting system. That's that wave right now. It's a very healthy wave. However, why haven't we been seeing much development? First of all, we have lots of plumes and rounds of Saharan dust coming off. We also have, overall, it's mainly just the dust. We also have sinking air rather than rising air, which isn't really conducive. So basically, sinking air, as in our MJO or Madden-Julian oscillation, has been in an unfavorable phase for any tropical development. So that's why we haven't really seen anything. However, this wave could, keyword could, be our first possible system. So we're going to keep this moving. This coming off of Africa. We keep this moving. It's very weak, okay? It's like your typical tropical wave right here. Okay, it's very, very weak. I'm gonna go through this a little quicker. Continue going through it. And you really started to see dissipating. It's right here. It's still trying. You can still see it. However, it's like very faint. It's starting to blend into the high right here. Now, if we continue this, you do see. At this point, it's just gone. It really just dissipates. You have something here, but I'm not sure. I don't think that's not it. But overall, it just dissipates and doesn't really get going at all as we continue through. Now, however, yeah, that takes it to the end of the model run. And real quick, this is a very brief mention. Some models have shown a system coming off the Carolinas, off a homegrown system, coming out here, trying to retrograde back north and east, but can't really do so. Sorry, north and west, and you see that, but overall, we could watch it, but mainly for Nova Scotia, or maybe we'll look out for some gusty winds, but just wanted to give some quick talk on that. Lastly, the European model has a completely different scenario with this wave coming off the African coast, North African coast. So we continue this through. You see, getting right into here. It's right about here. So we continue this through. Just keep your eyes on that system. Getting into about 117 days, or sorry, 120 hours, not days. You have it right here. You can definitely see it slightly more defined than what the GFS was showing. And if we continue this, you see eventually it pops off a low. 10-15 millibars, so very weak, really just a tropical wave, maybe trying to inch into a tropical depression status. However, we continue this and you still see it, okay? You definitely see some vorticity right here, sneaking above north of the Dominican Republic. And a better way to see this that I probably should have showed is the energy. Okay, you can definitely take a look at the energy. Go 800, no, we'll go 700 millibars up here, and you can see it right here, pretty clear right here. Some vorticity and rotation. So I'm just gonna continue it this way. You see this, and we continue this, and then this gets to the end of the model run, and you see a very nice storm here, likely a hurricane at this stage, maybe high-end tropical storm, and you see it come kind of like that. And this only goes 240 hours out, which is still pretty far out. So first of all, take this with a grain of salt. Okay, it's just showing up on some models like the Euro and Icon. Icon is way weaker. However, it's something to keep in the back of your mind. And some ensembles of the Euro and Euro ensembles agree with the Euro itself, the parent. It does think many ensembles bring it north, then bring it bring it north. And since we have a high pressure right here, we continue bringing the storm north, and some kind of skim the coast, some kind of go right into the coast and then curl outward, while some weaker solutions take it into the Gulf. So again, it's something to watch, but right now it's still a very big question mark, so we'll really have to see what happens. So here, we're gonna go, so this is the Euro, 240 hours out. We're gonna go to the GFS and do the same thing, 700 millibar energy. We're gonna jump out to around 240 hours, and you see nothing. Okay, I'm gonna switch between two things. Nothing, something, nothing, something. So overall, GFS not really in favor. You see a little bit of like stuff here, but this is all honestly just regular. This isn't even any tropical moisture or anything. However, on the Euro, you actually see a full-blown tropical storm slash hurricane getting into the Bahamas and then making its trek and threatening land. So, key points from this, keep it in the back of your mind. However, don't depend on it. Don't think it's actually going to develop, because we have very little support. Again, only the Euro and even the icon a little bit shows it really developing into something. Euro and the ensembles are on an island, as all the other models, even the Korean models, GFS, CMC, all those models do not agree in development with this storm. So again, since we still do have some signals, just keep it in the back of your mind. But yeah, that's really it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.